I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hi, everyone. We're back. I'm Maria Menounos. We're back from Gay Twitter panel, honey, for AfterBuzz TV. We're going to jump right in. We have so much to talk about, but before we do that, Brian, Ollie, how are you, lovelies? What's going on?
Amazing. So excited to be here with you guys. And every single week. It's so fun. Let's talk about orgies.
Oh my gosh, yes. We need to do, can we have a show dedicated to just like sex or something? Like that should be a week of just sex topics.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We will.
Sex is cool.
We will do it.
I miss it. I miss sex.
I miss it. I miss you know what I miss? I miss like smelling a man. Like just the smell of a man.
I literally lost it. I was like, you were like, the smell for like two guys. I'm like, what smell are you talking about?
Oh God. Well, that didn't go that was not as well received as I thought. We're gonna move on. We have so much to talk about. We have, Chromatica is doing songs in Jockstraps. Finally, Lady Gaga understood who is, the wind beneath her wings, and it's us gays. It is us gays. I love that. So those are on sale. We're going to talk about all that. In South Korea, they've had some major anti-queer backlash. So we're going to get into that. A bunch of trans men got together and stripped down, and we're going to dive into that, honey. And that was everything. A DJ from Rona Rave breaks his silence, and it does not go so well. So we will discuss that. Entertainment Weekly did like a Pride cover. We're not going to have Pride this year. They've all been canceled. So, I mean, we're also going to be prideful, honey. I'm going to be running around my house here in a thong, dancing up a storm. I don't know how my parents are going to feel about that, but that is neither here nor there. So there's a lot of great people on the cover. We're going to dive into that. We have Ollie's Read All About It, honey. And we can't ignore Tyra Banks. You must be living under a rock because Gay Twitter has been slaying the girl. They have come for Tyra Banks left, right, and center. So we're going to talk about that. I can't wait to hear that from Ollie. And then we have Brian's Pop Diva Dish with the queen herself, Kim Petras. So can't wait to dive into that. And then we have Jay Jordan, who's going to join us later, bisexual, queer, Black man comedian. He's doing the most. So we're going to be able to dive into him and do a little interview.
Dive into him, girl.
It's not my fault. Blame it on the thirst trap. Blame it on the thirst trap. He posted this picture in his white underwear, honey, and you could see everything. So anyways, I'm losing track of the show. I'm going to try to get back on track here. Let's talk about Chromatica releasing on May 29th. They're going to release, obviously, along with thongs and jockstraps. Are y'all buying? Are we buying these?
I am.
Yes. I just ordered mine. There's a bundle. Yes. If you order, you can order the thong, you can order socks, or the jockstrap like I did. And it comes with it comes with the digital album. So I'm just supporting Gaga as much as possible, and also myself for after COVID-19. Yes. But they look so cute. Who doesn't want a pink jock that says Chromatica?
Seriously.
Listen, Ollie, you can wear them now. I'll wear them and walk around the house and yes.
That'll be our next outfit for, what's that, May 29th. So in like 3 weeks on Gay Twitter, we'll all just have our Chromatica jockstraps, and that's what we'll be wearing on air. So stay tuned for that, everybody. I'm kidding. Please do not quote me on that. But I'm excited too. Like, I need to up my jockstrap game. I just have like this one little cute black one, a couple other ones. But a pink one, yes, like you said, Ollie, I'm here for it. It's gonna match your hair, by the way, so I'm gonna do that.
So cute.
So, and also Chromatica. So hello, Gaga, Ariana Grande, Blackpink, amazing. Let's do it.
I love it, and I think we're all ready for some happiness in our lives. And a pink, what's better than a pink jockstrap? That's gonna get us through everything. And listen, you don't even need a man to wear that. Wear it for yourself, honey. That's what I say. So wear it for yourself. I'm here for Gaga. So, I mean, I wish we could just talk about her the whole show, but, I don't know if everyone's a full-on Lady Gaga stan, but they better be. But let's move right along. But before we do that, I just wanted to thank all of y'all for being here with Gay Twitter panel. We're a new show for AfterBuzz TV. They are the ESPN of TV talk. They are bringing you this great content during quarantine. We have literally never been in the studio. We're a quarantine baby. We're a Rona baby. So, like us, subscribe, go to Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. And listen, yes, we are a queer angled show, but we're talking about topics that relate to everybody. So you don't have to be gay or bi or trans or LGBTQ to watch the show. I want to make that very clear. But our next topic is very queer. In South Korea, there was a major anti-queer backlash because there was, after South Korea was able to kind of reopen and their corona cases were very low, there was a queer man who went to some gay bars and then was identified as patient 0 for transmitting coronavirus to about 15 people, I believe, or I think it was 14 people. And so from that, there was a lot of there was a lot of gay bashing, anti-queer sentiment, much like the way that people have been anti-Asian even in this country against Asian people. It's happening there against queer people. What did you guys think about all of that and kind of that backlash? I'm curious.
So unfortunate. It's just so sad. And like when reading that article or just kind of knowing the history of South Korea, there's no illegal laws. Like it's not illegal to be gay, but there is obviously still this stigma. It's still not as accepted. Even in the US, it's kind of the same thing. It's still not as widely accepted as we would like, or as as everyone doesn't embrace it as much as possible. So to have this where we're coming like 100 steps forward, and this just took us like 1,000 steps back, especially in South Korea, it's so unfortunate. And my heart goes out to everybody that happened to. I'm sure they wanted to kind of like us just go out and feel happy, go out and have a good time when they thought that things were clearing up for them. And I guess it wasn't. So just my heart goes out to them. It's unfortunate. And I hope that this stigma doesn't carry even further than it already did, because I feel like it's so dangerous to the LGBT community in South Korea.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well said.
It just sucks. Like I feel like there's always kind of like we're trying to place the blame somewhere, and in South Korea, it just so happens that this person was, gay, and so it just sucks. Like I can't even think of like what that person must be going through. And like I know my friends who are Korean, they've been really outspoken about this. Like Soju from Drag Race has been very like really spoke up about this issue, and so my heart goes out to them, and it just really does, because there's just so many layers. It's like we're dealing with the pandemic, and we're dealing with still the discrimination in South Korea. It's not illegal, but it's still very traditional there, like a lot of Asian households, because I'm not Asian, but I have a lot of Asian companions and friends and whatnot. And just growing up and knowing what the struggles that they've been through, just kind of like some of them aren't even out yet. They're out to their friends, but not their family. And so it's just very heartbreaking that that the story did come about. It's very unfortunate.
Right. Well, it was also like, you bring up a really great point as well. And I think it's important, like people like Soju take up space and make comments and speak up against it. But I think you touched upon a really great point that a lot of people kind of miss, is that it's not America. So this idea in South Korea, I've been there. I have family who's actually South Korean. My cousins are Korean and Persian. And I've had these conversations with my aunt. And she made a really great point. She's like, what people don't know is in South Korea, the way the news is portraying this, it's making it seem like this one gentleman slept with 14 men, right? That's not what it is. So it's being misconstrued in the media, which is then making it seem like, gay men have no self-control, they're running around. But the fact is, he could have just been around a group of people.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. And I love that you brought that up, Ollie. Those cultural differences are so important in having productive conversations. And a lot of people on gay Twitter was like, this is effed up. And they were like, cancel South Korea. And they were getting really upset, which again, I understand the sentiment, but you have to understand it's a different country.
Right. Girl, there are people, there's gays here that are having sex, that are actually spreading it through sex. So it's like, let's not cancel South Korea. Let's worry about our own country first before we start, trying to throw stones at other countries when that's not the case. I'm looking at you, WeHo queens. No, it's so true. Like, oh my gosh. True. And I was talking to Brian earlier about like Memorial Day weekend coming. Like I hope it doesn't set us back even further, because the gays are going to want to go out into the beaches, and not just gays. Like obviously this is gay Twitter, but people are going to want to go out to the beach, and it's just it's scary. I'm going to stay indoors because I'm alone, but
just be careful.
Right.
I think it's a level of like, I kind of explain it like this, and I've told this to gay men as well that are wanting to go on dates. I'm like, it's like drunk driving and saying, I'll be fine. And most times you might go and hook up with someone and you might not get coronavirus. But the fact is you're putting yourself at risk and other people. What if you're asymptomatic and you go to someone's house and you make I don't know, you make them sick and then they make their parents sick and someone dies? Like, do you want that blood on your hands for like, let's be honest, for about 10 minutes of pleasure? Like a lot of these grinder guys don't know how to get it. So is it worth
Drag
it?
them! Drag them!
My weave, it's over there.
Sorry, I said it. You all are thinking it. I just said it. What are you gonna do, right? But enough, dragging these poor WeHo queens. Let's move on to people that I want to kind of give their due and give them attention. So a bunch of trans men got together, stripped down to their underwear, and did like a fun viral video. I've spoken to a lot of trans people. I've spoken to Laith Ashley. I've spoken to a lot of trans men who are kind of sexualized or fetishized and like about hypermasculinity. And there's no like, it always like what Laith said that I loved was like, being trans is fun. And I hate that every time I'm on a panel or on an interview, you take the fun out of it by always asking me about my transition or my genitals, etc. So I love this video that was just like, these are hot people, trans or not. Like they're hot and we want to gawk at them. And I thought that was fun. I was like, what did you guys think about the video?
I was thinking, are any of them single?
Yes.
I'm open to dating after COVID-19. Stage 4. Let's get to or after stage 4, whatever. But it's cool because I think a lot of these people probably have people who look up to them, because they've made so much progress in their transition. So, there's probably trans men or trans women who are looking at these people and their bodies, just celebrating them. And hopefully that gives them the courage to transition, whether they want to do it through surgery or not. You don't have to go through surgery to be, whatever, to transition, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
So it's I think it's really inspiring and it's fun. I mean, let's just celebrate our bodies. Like everybody's beautiful regardless whether or not it's trans or not, So I loved it. And I'm single. So if anyone, any of those men are watching, just
yes. I agree with that. That's great. I love, Ollie, what you said. It's like, it doesn't, and I love that you brought up the point of, because a lot of people, the way they understand transitioning is that like, you have to be like fully femme, fully masculine, and fully transition. But I know a lot of people who are not. They're just like, I am trans. I'm in the process of transitioning, but it's not something I have to do. So I love that you brought that up. That's great.
The be all isn't just like the bottom surgery. You could still, it's like, you are who you are. You don't need the bottom surgery, but some people want the bottom surgery for themselves. And, so.
Absolutely. And actually, Gigi Gorgeous, when she talked about, still having a penis, a lot of people on YouTube were like, we've been, hoodwinked, and they were very upset. And she was just like, I still have a penis. I'm still trans. Like, it doesn't matter, and I love that she was so open about that. And I thought that was really powerful. Ollie, what did you, oh my God, Ollie, Brian. I love you guys so much. I just love you so much.
Yeah.
Brian, what are your thoughts about the video? What did you?
Oh, of course. Share the same sentiments. They were so hot. It was so fun. And again, just going back to this whole thing of just having fun and giving life to like what's happening in the world, or giving like some light, because there's just so much craziness happening. And for them to just have fun and be themselves and show how hot they are, like that was just everything. So I loved it.
Yes. It was like, we need kind of that escapist like content right now. Like that's why TikTok is so fun when it's not homophobic and racist. I've blocked many people, honey.
You're going for Vladimir today.
Yes, always. You know who else I'm coming for is this DJ from Rona Rave. So if you don't know about the Rona Rave, we talked about it last week. They had a rave where people were, partying, and it was like, it wasn't hundreds of people, but it was still a good like 50 or 60 people. So I still don't think it's okay, and I'm not like trying to defend it, but he went on to kind of like talk about it more. And unfortunately, when you're part of a scandal, don't talk about it. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but it was a nightmare. It's on Twitter. He like literally was like, I didn't get a blowjob. He was an idiot. I was like, are you defending this or not? I was like, what is going on? So what did y'all think about this whole, and he got like a lot of backlash, and he made it seem like, oh my God, stop coming from me. I'm a white, cisgendered, buff man. Like, I just don't have time for it. So what did y'all think about this? Do you think that he should have just kept quiet, or do you think he should have addressed the blowjob rumor or whatever?
He should have addressed something, but it was a terrible apology. I didn't even catch that I didn't get a blowjob. I watched where he was just like, I went back out and I put my mask on. So like, I wasn't putting anyone else at risk. I was like, what? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, it was so stupid. Like, don't, like, yeah, like I said, just, if you're gonna apologize, just like say you were in the wrong and move on. Don't like try to make an excuse like, oh, it wasn't even that bad, or, you know, like the blowjob wasn't even good, so that's why it didn't mean anything. I'm like, I don't care if the blowjob was the best blowjob in the world. It wasn't worth it. Like, what the hell?
It wasn't worth it. It wasn't. Listen,
Yeah.
Brian, I always say a moment on your lips, forever on your hips. So
From
it
your
applies
lips to
to
God's
many
hips.
things.
Oh
That's
God.
all I have to say.
Levels.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
That is funny. That's funny.
It was cringeworthy to watch. I don't know why I watched the whole thing, but
I watched the whole thing too.
it's kind of, there's no saving you. Just like Brian said, own your fault. You just don't put the Band-Aids, just rip it off, rip the whole thing off. You were in the wrong for what you did. Cause he was the DJ. He was, you know, he's, I don't know if he was, I don't know how, you know, clubs work, how this runaway works. I don't know if he booked it, he planned it, or someone hired him, but it's just not okay, dude. If you want to do that, then, well, first off, don't do it. But like, be like the WeHo gays and be super discreet about it, I guess. But don't do it. But it's, I don't know. It just shows how much balls they had to put it on like their stories and to put it on social media. I'm like, you really thought that this was okay and people weren't going to speak up about this?
Seriously.
People are a mess. It's baffling to the core. And it's funny because the people that then came to his defense were remember that group of like gaggle of gays that went to Puerto Vallarta with that senator guy, and they were posting early on in COVID-19 around April. Did you guys hear that story about the senator?
I think so,
and
yeah.
And then they were like, well, leave him alone. Like, they were being safe. And it's like, y'all don't need to defend him. Y'all were running around Puerto Vallarta acting a fool during the height of coronavirus, like in April. So I'm just like, these gays need to just like cancel themselves. Listen, I don't want to cancel anyone. Just you cancel yourself. You delete your social media and just quietly go away. That's it. We don't need it. We don't need this in our lives. Like, it's too much. And like, at this point, I believe people are under a lot of stress, and like, you don't need to add to it by doing these parties. And like, God forbid, like someone is out there and they have a gay son that they're still trying to grapple with, and they see this on Instagram or Twitter, and they're going to be like, well, I don't want my son to be part of this community. So remember, our actions have a bigger effect. So just be aware, you know, and I'm not trying to be like a dad on a soapbox, but like gay Twitter as well was kind of echoing this. They were like, we don't need this for our community. We already have enough issues. Like with RuPaul Drag Race, what Sherry Pie did, that's a mess. Then we have this, like, it just doesn't make us look good in the media. You know what I mean? We don't need it. So I'm just like, I'm a little here for reversing kind of that damage. And you know what did Entertainment Weekly, honey? They turned it around for us, because they are like celebrating the pride that we all feel for our queer figures. You know, we have obviously Mama Ru, Laverne, Elton, Janelle Monáe, Lil Nas. I mean, Lil Nas is giving us some thirst photos.
He's so hot. Like,
just him in that cowboy hat. Like, I love a good cowboy, you know?
I love it. Save a horse, ride a cowboy, honey.
Yes. All
ride
right.
a cowboy.
See you in Riverside County.
Yes. I just feel like Lil Nas takes his time, honey. Like, he don't rush it. Yeah. So I'm here for it. I am here for it. What did y'all think about this cover? Like, obviously we don't have Pride. Listen, we always have Pride, but we don't have an organized Pride this year, right? So how do y'all feel? Like, do you feel like, I mean, I was kind of feeling a little nostalgic for my Prides, and for, you know, first time queer people, it's hard that they don't get to celebrate. But do you think this cover is like helping us to kind of heal and have more Pride? What do y'all think?
I think yes. Like, I'm trying to be all deep. Well, I think no, I totally think it's awesome. Like, I love that. Obviously, we can't have like a big photo shoot or anything to keep everyone safe, but it's cool to like, it's a beautiful like portrait, or not a portrait, art that this artist made. I don't know who the artist of it, but you know, you see like these awesome queer figures in Hollywood that it's diverse. It's not just a bunch of white gays or white queer people. You have like Ryan Murphy, but you have like Rue, you have Janelle Monáe, you have I think Freddie Mercury's on it, Elton John. It's super diverse. Laverne. So it just really spoke to me, and that's why I just wanted to hear your thoughts about it, because it's going to be really interesting kind of going into like June and seeing like also like the companies that usually are you know, turn rainbow. Are they still going to turn rainbow with their products or their brands, whatever they do, you know? So I'm really interested in seeing other people follow suit, other brands follow suit of this if they are going to at all.
I love that. I love that. And you know what they can do, Ollie? They should probably do like a queers at home or quarantine queers and have all these brands and just have us like living like the way like, you know, Mike Canamera is doing from Lady Gaga's, he's like one of her backup dancers. He does a live show every, you guys have seen it with the rainbow wig.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the glitter. So like we can still have pride and it not be like fully organized. So I think that they should do some like gays at home. Just love it. I think I think a lot of people are going to want to remove Ellen from that cover, but it's fine. You know, but like everyone else, listen, you know, this is not me speaking. This is gay Twitter. This is gay Twitter. This is not me speaking. So they said that.
Oh, I think. Oh no, I don't. Sorry, isn't what's her name? Melissa Etheridge. Isn't she on the cover? I don't know. But
it's so funny though. Like I saw the article about it, and it was like
it's Kristen.
Sorry, Mary, I lost you. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. No. All I was saying was, it's not Melissa Etheridge. It kind of looks like her, but it's Kristen Stewart, and then also who's that Grace and Frankie woman? Not Jane Fonda.
Lily Tomlin?
Lily
Tomlin.
Yes.
Lily Tomlin. No, what I was going to say though is that in that article that you shared, it's basically an article from Vulture. They were like actually coming for the cover. Like they were like doing these little cute little low-key drags. Like that's not Ricky Martin, that's a Property Brother. And I was like, oh God, like I literally like laughed, but it was savage. It was so savage, so funny. But I 100% echo what you said, Ollie. I love the sentiment. It's perfect to share these queer icons as we come up on June. And yeah, let's just have our own pride with our Chromatica jockstraps and just show the world that we're here, we're queer, and we're not going anywhere. So
absolutely.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. I'm so here for it. And you know, Vulture's low-key always a little shady, so we love it. They always give us the shade. So okay, let's do our pop diva dish, honey.
Yeah.
Brian, give it to us. Give us that Kim, honey.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to talk about Kim Petras this week for two reasons. So obviously, if you don't know Kim Petras' music, she is an amazing musician. She's a trance singer, so amazing. We love her. The reason I want to talk about her, especially because she has some great music out there right now. She recently released her single for Malibu. Last week, I sent this to you guys. She did a preview of Malibu on Grindr. Like she shared the album, like the song with the gays first on Grindr. Like I'm like, dang girl, get that promo. But she finally dropped the video, and we love it because there's some amazing icons in Hollywood in it. She has everybody from Charlie XCX. She has Paris Hilton. She has Madeleine Pesch, which I love for Riverdale, like personal. So it was just amazing to see that video. And yeah, what are you guys' thoughts? Do we love Kim Petras? I hope you guys do. So tell me.
Oh God, I love Kim. Where's my Kim Petras jockstrap? You know, but she's such an amazing artist. Like I really fell in love with her like a couple years back when like I just was like broke up and like I just broke up with someone and I was just like, but her music is so relatable to like I feel like the gay community or just queer people in general, especially her just being a trans pop icon. I'm saying it. She's gonna be one day. But it just really, I think it really resonates with a lot of people, and I love that she released this song Malibu in particular because a lot of people want to go to the beach. They want to feel like you know, summertime realness, hot girl summer, hot boy summer, whatever. And I feel like that's what you know. You can still do that by listening to this song, and you know, I think that's kind of like why I like the song so much as I do, because she wants everyone to feel that way. She wants everyone to feel like having a good summer during, you know, these hard times that we're in.
Definitely.
Absolutely. I just listened to the song and it was like, for me, it was like Selena Gomez's I Want a Boyfriend. I just listened to Malibu over and over and over. I was like, Alexa, again. Like, she is just so good at like putting lyrics together. And I actually saw her 3 years ago at a Bumble event. And she came in and she was wearing, it was amazing. She was wearing a fur, Ryan. It was like light blue, and then she walked over the crowd. Like someone carried her and she walked over them. It was insane. It was like,
Jesus,
it was so
come
good.
On, Jesus.
It was everything. It was everything we needed. And she literally was like, I talked to Bumble and I was like, the gays are not going to want t-shirts, so make it all crop tops. She like knows her audience. So I loved that. I love that. She was fabulous. And you know, her story, if you don't know, like she is one of the youngest people to transition the entire world. She was about 12, I believe, or even younger. She even emancipated from her parents to transition. So she has quite an amazing story. And I think that, you know, Billboard magazine covers her. That she does a lot of queer panels for Pride.
Yes.
She's very involved in the community. So I'm so here for her. So that's a great choice for Pop Diva
Of
Dish,
course.
honey.
Yes, we have to bring her up 'cause
Yes.
she's a queen. Malibu is amazing. And yeah, go check it out. It's so fun. And watch the video because there's some great people in Hollywood, you know, having fun. She even has fans, which is so amazing too. I love how these music videos have been incorporating fans. It just gives us a reason to kind of like just see who's out there, how they're having fun, how they're getting through this craziness like on their own. Because I'm going crazy.
Absolutely. Honey, yes, we are all feeling a little trapped. And I heard a quote that I really liked that I think you guys would resonate with. It was like, you can feel like you're feeling good and also trapped at the same time. So we all go through those different emotions. You're like, okay, I feel good. And then you're like, uh-oh, here comes another emotion in the ocean.
Yes.
That sounds like me. That's me 24/7. Let's be real.
I love it.
I love that though. That's really good.
I love that. That's amazing. That's very relatable.
Let me
Did we lose you?
So me and Ollie have to just keep going like this.
On to read Ollie. Oh no, I don't know.
Hi, can you see me?
Uh-oh.
Amir, are you there?
Are y'all good?
Yes. We lost
I'm
you.
here.
Oh
We
no.
literally,
Oh my
every
God,
time you cut out, we're like this. Yeah.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
I like come back and I don't know what's wrong with my internet, you guys. I swear I still live in 1995 dial-up internet at my parents' house. I'm like, dial it up. Dial it up.
DSL.
Oh God, don't say DSL, girl.
You're good.
Ollie, tell us about this Tyra Banks backlash because it has been all over the place.
I
You're
know.
coming for her.
Not just gay Twitter, like Tyra Banks, America's Next Top Model, and TM was trending. And I just wanted to talk about this because this is really hard for read all about it. I grew up loving Tyra Banks. I grew up loving Top Model. I wanted to be on the show one day. That was my dream. Like, I don't know why I love the show so much. I love Tyra always trying to like redefine, you know, beauty standards. And she did. I feel like she did. And she really did make waves in the modeling industry, being a woman of color, reinventing her career herself, you know, like going from high fashion and Paris to, you know, Victoria's Secret. So I just love Tyra Banks. I loved her show. However, kind of looking back at some of her shows, even her talk show, very questionable. You know, everyone's realizing, wow, Tyra, this show is a little bit problematic. And I have to agree. And it breaks my heart seeing, you know, past clips resurface and go viral on Twitter, such as, you know, blackface, telling a woman of color that her Gap isn't going to get her a CoverGirl cover. And there's just so much. A girl's friend died, and then, oh, you got to go shoot in a coffin.
I know.
So there's just so much. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Top Model as much as I am, because I'm a super fan. Top Model is one of the shows that actually kind of got me into AfterBuzz and watching the AfterBuzz after show. So I am such a fan, and it's so hard seeing Tyra. She even sent out like a tweet apology. This is all she's really spoken about. And it was more so kind of just like, guys, I am sending you virtual hugs. It wasn't that much of an apology, but I really want to know your thoughts because it breaks my heart because I do love Tyra Banks, and not to defend her completely, but it is a reality television show with a bunch of producers behind her. So I know she's a face. So it's not like, let's not just like cancel Tyra and attack her constantly, because it's a bunch of producers also with her behind the scenes that are actually kind of like running the show as well. So what are your guys' thoughts on Tyra Banks and Twitter dragging her?
For sure. I watched only clips of the Top Model, and I did love it. But going back and seeing what you mentioned, those like recounts of it, I'm like, dang, did that really happen on national television? Like, because it is so, like you said, questionable. I 100% echo what you said, though, because I did see the tweet from one of the producers that was like, hey, you know, we produced this and we're going to take credit for it as well. But at the same token, they both kind of didn't take credit for it. Like, it's the same thing we're talking about with the gay from the Rona rave. It's like, just say you effed up, it wasn't a good decision, and move on. Don't say like, oh, you know, we had to do this, that, or the other, to like, it was such a like workaround that they were trying to do. And it's just, if you're going to apologize, move on, and know that you're going to do better next time. But I think that it was just such a weird apology, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. I don't think it's ever going to happen again, but yeah.
So Ken Mock was a creator who commented after Tyra and was like, you know, but it felt like he kind of copy pasted what she said and added like 3 words. So I was like, okay, it doesn't seem like you feel that bad. And I watched, I mean, listen, strap in, I'm a little older than the two of you. I watched it as it was live. I watched that lady be like, we're gonna buzz your hair and then we're gonna. It was. Okay. Absolutely. So I think that for me, like, obviously Ken Mock is the creator and the producer of the show, but like he needs to like he's taking some ownership. But the fact of the matter is, I watched it live, so I'm a little older than the two of you. So I watched it live, and I saw that stuff, and I was like, wait a second, she's criticizing her gap. She's calling that girl. She's saying that girl's talking black, quote unquote. She like called out. She's like, you're never gonna get a job in Hollywood because you are talking not the way people want to hear. And I'm like, Tyra, honey, you're from Inglewood. Like, why are you criticizing her? Like, I just never really got that. I was like, if I see someone who's Middle Eastern who might have an accent or is struggling, like, I wouldn't call them out. I would try to bring them in. And I feel like she was, I don't know, like, like even that whole thing about the coffin, like, she was doing this stuff to be dramatic. And I think her sense of humor is a little off. Like, even on her show, I don't know if you guys saw the clip of her show, like, she asked this girl who had problematic relationships and was like, oh, do you find these three guys attractive? And she said yes, and they were all serial killers. Oh my God!
Like, okay, like, right, no, I remember that.
Bizarre. It was bizarre. I was like, what? And then she had Beyonce on, which was the weirdest interview I've ever seen. Like, are you Greyonce? What would you do when you're old? Are you Beyonce? What would you buy? I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I live for those stupid ass interviews.
I was like, what? Yeah. And then there's a bit of like transphobia. There's a lot of queer bashing. She told one of the models who did really well, almost made it to like the top 2, who was a lesbian, and was like, you're never going to make it in this town if you're a lesbian. And I'm like, that's not true, because look at Cara Delevingne. She's a supermodel and she's lesbian. So it's like, what? Like, I don't, like, some of that stuff is just, it was so tone deaf.
Right.
So,
yeah. So
well, shout out. Yeah, it's really hard because I feel like almost like Tyra kind of wanted to put some of the girls, like what she went through. Cause I'm sure Tyra faced racism growing up and also being a model herself, but she kind of wanted to drag them to the ringer a little bit.
I know, God.
She's like, okay, you're going to wear these stilettos, these 6-inch heels on a treadmill, go walk the runway. Like, literally, that was a challenge. I was like, you're going to kill, and their dresses were like super long. So I'm like, okay, way to just kill your models, girl. But
come on, Amazing Race.
But shout out to all like the successful top model stories like Eva, Yaya, Takara, Niall, who's so damn sexy. He's like, he's so beautiful. But it's cool that there are, despite like some of the hardships that the contestants had to go through, there's some, you know, success stories, and not all of them were just like failed reality stars.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Ollie, I don't know if you saw this, but Sally Field's son, Sam Griezmann, he posted a really funny thing about that top model. He's like, you know, when they give him the envelopes, they give you all envelopes, manila envelopes, and then like 10 of them have an empty photo, but they show you the house first. So they all run through the house and they're like, yes! And then he's like, who's gonna tell the ones with the empty photo that they're not staying? Like, whose job was it to tell them to go home? I thought that was really funny.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It was a good old time. But you know what? Listen, we love Tyra Banks and we're here for her. And yeah, we're just gonna wrap up there. Any final thoughts, guys?
Stay home.
Petras.
Listen to Malibu.
Yeah.
Stay home. Be safe.
Don't go to orgies. Don't even go to single like sexual encounters. Don't even do that. Like, unless it's your partner that you live with. Yeah, I can't. Goodbye.
Honey, use your hand, buy yourself a Calvin like me, and call it a day. That's all you gotta do.
Cosmo has a great article about your best vibrator for your horoscope, so check that out. Yeah, so you know, I read that when I was probably like 13. So yeah.
Okay. Wow, Brian started early, honey. Yes, I love it. We are
Mother,
here
I'm
for
sorry.
it.
I'm so sorry, Mother.
Yes, we are so here for it. Well, in the meantime, boys, tell me where we can all follow you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok as the Brian Santos. Catch me on AfterBuzz TV's Quarantine with the Stars. I have some amazing interviews. Yeah, it's amazing. And there's hot guys. Ronan Rubinstein, love him. Check that out.
I love hot guys. Hey guys, it's Ollie Drennan. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch at Ollie Dreamer.
And y'all, you can follow. Thank you for being here, by the way. We're a new show. We love having the support for gay Twitter. We love you guys. You can follow me at Amir Yas, AmirYass _, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And Instagram, I try to do some IG lives, and I'm actually going to be doing a lot of lives for AfterBuzz as well. We're trying to engage the fans as much as we can. We love you. Mwah.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.